Shalom Aleichem. Mishnah Yomi is off to a strong start in Ketubot. We are on the second day of learning Ketubot or Kesuvos together in chapter 1, Mishnah Gimel. Hagadol, a grown-up man over bar mitzvah, sheba alakatana, who has intimate relations with a young girl. And here in this context, young means age 3 or less. Vekatan, or a male katan, and here the context means under 9 years old, sheba gadola, he's intimate with a grown woman. Umukat etz, and literally a girl who was struck or injured with a stick. For example, there was some sort of injury to her private parts that removed the betulim. The Gemara also mentions that aggressive horseback riding can have the same effect. In all these cases, ketuvoton matayim, their ketuva, their default amount of money in the ketuva is 200 zuz, according to Rabbi Meir. Now, the common theme in all of these cases is they're not considered an act of intimacy. So the young children involved are still considered to be a virgin in this case and entitled by default to the 200 zuz ketuva. It is critical that we distinguish that this law, this halacha, is only with respect to this act, not removing the virginity. Obviously, if there's injury or trauma or shame, then that's a sugi in bavakama. Bavakama, when we get there, we'll discuss the law of damages. Certainly, if an adult, either man or woman, is engaged in intimate activities with a minor, then they're causing injury, at least they're causing psychological trauma, and they are liable for that. It is forbidden. They may not do so, and if they do so, they must be sued in court and pay damages. So here, the Mishnah is really ruling that it does not remove her virginity. It's not considered an act of legal intimacy, but certainly if the act causes any sort of damage or stress or, PTSD, then the person it's completely forbidden, and the person is on the hook for damages. And not only that, but back in Yevamot, the Gemara in Yevamot on Daf 61 explains that if an adult is trying to seduce a minor, someone under bar or bat mitzvah, that's considered a violation in Jewish law. Violation as in RAPE. And in Jewish law, we're not advocating violence in the Mishnah Yomi, but you understand that if the bystanders were to witness an attempted RAPE, they're allowed to attack and murder the aggressor. That's Yevamot, the Gemara, Daf 61, Samech Aleph. It's a critical, important concept in halacha that we assume that children should be protected by their parents, by their teachers, by their rebbeim. Children need to be protected and not exposed to intimate and sexual concepts and information at a young age. And certainly they need to be protected from people who might have ill intentions. Many rebbeim in the Baltimore community have stressed the importance of speaking with your children about inappropriate touch so they know to tell an adult, like you, or a responsible adult, if such a thing would, God forbid, happen. So back to the Mishnah, that we've clarified this critically important aspect of halacha. Hachamim Omer, the other sages disagree with Rabbi Meir. They say, mukat eitz ketivata mane. They say if she had an injury to the private parts that removed her betulim, then she would be entitled to 100, not 200. Let's go on to Mishnah Dalit, betulah almana, a virgin widow. That sounds interesting. The partner has the girsa betulah shehi almana. She was a widow, but she never consummated with the original husband, or grusha, she was a divorcee, chalutza, she received chalitza instead of yibam, mina nisuin. And this happened after nisuin. Recall, as we mentioned yesterday, that nisuin is the second stage of Jewish marriage. First, there is kiddushin, or erisin, that's giving the ring or something of value, and then nisuin or chuppah, when the couple moves in together and is now living as man and wife. So even if lamaisa, this girl is still a betulah, since she had nisuin, she was fully married to the original husband, even though she says perhaps nothing happened between them, since she's now getting married a second time, that original marriage has ended. Since it was a full marriage with nisuin after chuppah, then ketuvaton mane, her ketuva is 100, not 200, ve'ein lahen tanat betulim. And her second husband cannot lodge a complaint that she did not have signs of virginity, because after all, she went through nisuin. So typically, after someone goes through nisuin, the situation is they're no longer in that status. The Mishnah brings similar women, hagioret, a woman who converted into Judaism, hashvuya, or a Jewish girl who was, God forbid, captured by pagans and could have been abused, hashivcha, a female servant, sheniftu, And in these cases, they were redeemed and became fully Jewish. V'nitgairu, be converted. Nishtacharu, or they were freed, and now they're fully Jewish girls. Yeterut ol benot shalosh, and this was after they were 3 years old. Shalosh shonim v'yom echad, and 1 day. Ketuvoton money. Their ketuva is 100 zuz, not 200. Ein lohen tanat betulim, and the new husbands, or the husband who marries any of these girls, cannot lodge a complaint that she was not a betulah. As we mentioned yesterday, it was not uncommon in non-Jewish societies for them to be engaged in promiscuity even at a quite young age, even under bat mitzvah age, as long as she was over 3. And it was common, God forbid, for bandits and soldiers to capture and take advantage of women, as unfortunately we've seen in recent times that the barbarians are still among us, and we need to do what we can to, God willing, wipe them out. So a husband who marries a woman from these backgrounds, it doesn't hurt to ask, but he doesn't have the right to go to court and complain if she was not a betulah on their wedding night. Yashar kochachem, sei gesund.